Hey there, welcome to Live Happily Ever Now. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. If you found this podcast, that is no accident. It means that you're ready to feel good, heal your life, and manifest the life of your dreams. I can't wait. Hello, and welcome back to Live Happily Ever Now podcast. I am your host, Carrie Briggs. I'm going to apologize in advance. I have some sort of cold, so my voice is a little raspy, but I have a message and we're going to bring it through. So this has been coming up a lot in my world, and I think specifically because it's February when I'm recording this, and there's a lot of energy around love, relationships, and what I'm trying to bring to the table is this energy of self-love and your relationship to yourself. It's one of the first things I bring through my clients is, how is your relationship to yourself? How do you feel about yourself? I come from one of the first things I did when I started this entire journey is I thought I was going to be a self-love coach. I thought I was going to help people with their body image and feeling good about themselves and their relationship to themselves. And it is a huge part of what I do, but it's like the first steps, because if we do not love ourselves truly and fully and trust ourselves, we're not able to hold anything. We're not able to heal. We're not able to grow. We're not able to shift and change because we don't trust ourselves and feel comfortable enough with ourselves to do the things. So I, just like most females in society, had massive body image issues. I hated the way I looked to myself, and it was just outward. It was a vanity thing for me. And it held me back massively. So if anybody knows me now, they know that I have zero issues with self-confidence. I tell myself that I'm fucking sexy. I tell everybody that I'm fucking sexy. I tell everybody that I have a nice ass. I proudly wear whatever I want to wear whenever I want to wear it. That is not how it always was. I hated my body. I hated myself. I hated how I looked. I hated how I talked. I hated every single feature on my body. Now looking back, I hold the part of myself that hated that, but I don't feel that way anymore. And a lot of people ask me, like, well, how do you show up so wildly? Like, how do you feel brave enough going out with purple hair? It's something. I literally have cat ears on for those of you who are listening and not watching the podcast, because I have no makeup on and I am sick, so I feel like shoot. So I have cat ears on to amplify my energy. But it took me such a long time to be okay with that. But one of the things that I've learned is that until we truly love and accept ourselves, we're never going to be able to do anything. So I had to rebuild my relationship to myself. It was one of the first things I did after, I want to say, so if anybody who's new to the spirit, like awakening to your spirituality, you usually start off with like affirmations and manifestation and all these beautiful, fun, like I call them like little breadcrumbs to awakening, and it's beautiful and it's fun, it's amazing, and it's incredible, but it opens your door to healing. And once you start healing, you start unlocking all of these wounds. So your childhood wounding, your motherhood, like all the things start opening up, and you learn to, like, it's hard. It's fucking hard. And if you don't have the right support, it can be even harder. So my dog has a squeaky toy. I am so sorry if you guys hear that in the background. I'm like, oh, when the kids are gone, it's quiet in here, and then I forget that I have 4 dogs. So all of these things come up, and you are confronted with every single one of your fears, every single one of the things that you despised about yourself or triggered you. So, being picked on, being called fat, being called too loud, being called too much, being called whatever it is. I am not fat. I am a perfectly normal, healthy weight. I am 165 pounds. I am 5'7", and which, if you look at everything else, is I'm obese, but we're just going to ignore that fact. I am not in any way, shape, or form. I work out a lot. I'm a lot of muscle. Anyway, I'm okay with saying those things because I'm in love with myself so very, very deeply. But there was a time that I was not. So once I started this spiritual awakening and started this healing journey, I had to learn to love myself again. And I remember one of the first things I ever did, somebody had me write a love letter to myself, and it was sickening. I was mortified. I did everything in my power to avoid this one task. And looking back now, I can still remember it. Like, there are very few things lots of things I remember very in detail, but I remember the feeling that I felt when somebody's like, I want you to write a love letter to yourself. And I'm like, Absolutely not. That is not happening. There's no, like, why the fuck, why would I do that? That's insane. That's absolutely insane. There's no reason I should do that. So I did it, and I hated every single second of it, and it was awful, and I wanted to throw up, and I'm like, this is like the entire time. I remember saying, I'm like, this is stupid. This is stupid. I don't know if you've seen the TikTok videos, or the reels, and it's like, I look stupid. I feel stupid. Do you feel stupid? Like, that's how I felt in that moment. I'm like, people are going to think I'm insane because I'm writing a love letter to myself. This was not something that was normal. This is something completely new to me. Like, liking myself, like, who the fuck am I to think who people don't like themselves. People don't love themselves. Like, people don't write love letters. So it, I'm laughing now because I'm looking back and remembering the emotions that I felt, but at the time they felt so real. And now I'm like, well, that's just like stupid. Why would it? Anyway, so I wrote this love letter to myself, and I remembered thinking it was the hardest thing I'd ever fucking done. And because I didn't share emotions, like emotions were not something that I was capable of doing. You know, I was raised, you know, you don't cry, you don't get angry, like you just shove it down. Your emotions don't matter type of situation. That's what I thought. That's how I like society raised me. That's the situations I was brought up in. I'm not saying like family wise, I'm just saying like in general. So, you know, and I had kids. Like I had kids at this point. So we were supposed to shut up, take care of our kids, and you know, our emotions don't matter. So I'm writing this love letter to myself, wanting to puke and throw up. And as I did it, they're like, okay, so after you write it, like I want you to like put it in your underwear drawer and open it in a year. And they're like, don't read it. Now, I can't remember if now I'm wondering if I still have it somewhere. But I remember it being one of the most healing things I'd ever done, because in the letter I had to forgive myself for the way, like and the way that I wrote it, and I encourage you all to do this as well. The way that I wrote it, it was like, I love, you know, all these things. And every time something came up, I had to question, you know, how I felt about that. Like, okay, so I love how helpless you are. And I'm like, I'm not fucking helpless. So as I was doing this, and even though I had all these self-thoughts, self-doubts when I was doing this about myself, it opened up these avenues for healing, because I realized, oh, I have a massive worthiness issue, because we all do. I have, you know, massive self-image issues. I have massive whatever it was. And I was able to open these doors to heal them and look deeper. So as my healing get on, you know, I do talk a lot about mirror work. So by Louise Hay, she has a 21-day challenge on mirror work, like deepening into loving yourself. So get that book. It's amazing. She one of the basis of my practices and my teaching is a lot of the stuff in this book. So somebody's like, oh, you should do mirror work. And I'm like, man, what? Like, this is not happening. I can't even write a love letter to myself. And you're telling me I have to do mirror work? First of all, I have no idea what this is. Second of all, no, thank you. So for those of you who do not know, mirror work is really like one of the first things she has you do is look in the mirror and look in your own eyeballs and tell yourself that you love you. And again, this was just as, if not more triggering to me than writing that love letter. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even make eye contact with normal people. Like, I'm ADHD, neurodivergent. Like, eye contact scares the shit out of me. It's really hard for me. Like, you're telling me to make eye contact with myself? Like, I don't even know what color eyes I have. I do. That's a lie. But it was really hard. And again, I went through those 21 days wanting to vomit. And I've done this 21-day challenge. I've done the mirror workbook so many times. I lead my clients through it. It's anyway. So this was the basis to my self-healing and my self-love journey. It was learning to rebuild a relationship and truly honor and love myself and love my body. And you know, there's hundreds of things that I've done. You know, every single day that I work out, because I work out every day, I'm extremely grateful for my body, and I thank my body every single day. I'm extremely aware of what I put in my body, how I feel when I do things, how I feel when I eat things, drink things, whatever it is. Also, you know, Reiki was a massive catalyst for how I looked and took care of my body, because I was so stuck in fight or flight that I wasn't aware of how I was feeling in my body. I wasn't aware of body sensations. So if I had a pain, if something was happening, if I felt tired, if I felt sick, like I was ignoring everything because I wasn't in tune and grounded into my body. I had spent so much time floating above, just trying to survive in survival mode, that I had no idea what it felt like. So once I started this healing journey, I was brought back into my body very hard and very aggressively. take a water break because, I'm sick and we're just going to channel and be sick and all that fun. Paying attention to my body. My body says I need water. So I feel like the most, all the things. So Reiki, that's what I was talking about. I get distracted. Squirrel. So Reiki helped me ground into my body and again, strengthen this relationship to self. So I've spent years deepening my love for myself and practicing these self-love tactics. And I saw something the other day that's like, I want you to love yourself so much that people call you a narcissist. And it's not that you're a narcissist. Well, first of all, we all have narcissistic tendencies. That's just, we're human. It's normal. But I want you to love yourself so deeply that I'm laughing because my husband, so I have mirrors, we have windows, whatever it is. And every time I walk past a mirror or like I see my reflection, I'm like, oh, hey, you're sexy. And my kids do it too. And it's hilarious. But I want you to get to that level. I want you to be like, I love myself so deeply. I don't care what I wear. I don't care as long as I am happy with me. So like, what is your relationship with yourself? How do you feel about yourself? Like, are you triggered and you're like, I could never write a love letter to myself. I could never look at myself in the eyes and tell you that I love you so fucking deeply that I am here for you and I'm taking care of you. Like, do you trust your body? Do you trust how you feel? Do you trust your body to tell you when things are right, when things are wrong? The fastest way to deepen your intuition and connect your intuition is by deepening into yourself and into your body. But you have to learn to trust yourself and feel good and comfortable in your body before you can do that. And I've had a lot of friends who are like, well, I'm just like, I'm so overweight, or I don't feel good, or like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. So instead of judging yourself for feeling that way, or you don't like the way your hair looks, you don't like the way your face looks, or your nose, or whatever it is, you're judging yourself. So the main point of this entire podcast episode is I want you to write a love letter to yourself. I want you to take that step, that very triggering step, which is going to heal you massively. And if you've done this before, amazing. I want you to do it again. And then I want you to pay attention to how you felt when you were writing that. What are the things that were standing up? Okay, you don't like your body image. How can you connect deeper to that? Why are you so afraid of connecting? And if you don't like the way you feel, okay, so how can you fix that? How can you remedy that? If you feel unhealthy, how can you change that? Can you be more aware of what you're doing every day? Can you be more conscious about moving your body every day? This is not weight loss. This has nothing to do with weight loss or anything like that. Or, and a lot of people do have illnesses that are affecting a lot of things, but you can still heal your relationship to yourself by deepening into a practice every single day where you are worshiping your body and yourself. Maybe, so for me, that looks like, I wake up early every morning. I do yoga when I first wake up. I journal, I meditate, I do my deep spiritual self, and then I work out later. That is what self-love looks to me. I also, I do look at myself in the mirror and be like, I love you. You're a fucking badass and you're a sexy goddess and you have a really nice ass. And I say that all the time out loud. And my husband laughs at me. My kids do too. They're like, Mommy has a nice butt. And I'm like, yes, I do. But and it's not because I'm trying to be like self-absorbed or in vain. It's like, I truly do believe that self. And they say this, like, the more that you say something out loud, the more you're going to believe it. So I've had to say those things because when I first started saying, I love you to myself, I didn't believe it. When I first started saying, you have a nice ass to myself, I didn't believe it. Now I do because I've said it enough that I truly, I believe it's truth. So write your letter and then look at how you're feeling. And then what are things that you can do to start making those shifts? And again, as always, if you want to go deeper into this, please reach out. I have lots of avenues that I can help you. One-on-one support. I do suggest a Reiki session would be very helpful for a lot of people because it opens up and allows you to start healing from the inside. I had a lot of people say, I had someone say to me the other day, like, oh, since I've worked on the outside, I can start working on the inside. It's actually the other way around. You have to start working on the inside first before you can start working on the outside. Because if you start working on the outside first, you're looking for outward validation. And that's a whole other topic. But I want you to feel so deeply and completely in love with yourself that no matter what, you know that you've got you. You know that your body's got you. You know that you are healing and capable of doing anything and everything. And once you feel safe and secure in your body, after you've done, and just learning the self-love techniques is just step one. Then you can work on your nervous system and regulating all that. And then you can work on, manifesting, and then you can work on all of these beautiful outward things. But until you feel safe and completely, truly trust yourself, you're not going to be able to hold anything. So write your love letter to yourself. Please reach out and let me know how it goes for you. Maybe you started writing it and it was super triggering, but I would love to hear. And yeah, you're amazing and you've got this, and you have the most amazing and beautiful body that is here to support you. And the sooner that you realize that, the sooner you're going to have a deeper connection. And when you connect deeper to yourself, you can connect deeper to spirit, because you are spirit incarnate. So I love you all. Have an amazing time, and I will see you next time. If you made it to the end of this episode, that means you are truly committed to your goals and open to miracles. I am so proud of you. If you want to get more Carrie, make sure you subscribe to this podcast so you never miss an episode. Your experience means a lot to me, so I welcome you to leave an honest review. And you can follow me on social media at Carrie Briggs Coaching. If you really want to get in on the action, sign up for my monthly membership, Unlock Yourself, or reach out for more powerful one-on-one work. I love you all so much. See you next time.